Have you seen my friend Boo?
There he is!
Oh, there he is. Come on in. Howdy, this is PhantomStrider. And this is Boo. What's wrong, Boo? Oh, no, we're not playing Boo's Clues. That does give me an idea, though. Let's check out the top 3 best and worst Blue's Clues episodes. How's that sound, Boo? Awesome, let's go. Just a note that for this list, I've only included episodes that are hosted by Steve. That's before Season 4, Episode 22, when he went off to college.
I'm gonna miss you.
Also, it's worth noting that I consider Blue's Clues one of the best kids shows of all time. So if you do like some of these episodes, that's great. And I think every episode has something valuable. It's just my silly personal opinion. And Blue's Clues is awesome either way. Isn't that right, Boo? Anyway, on to the countdown. We are gonna play Blue's Clues cause that's a really great game, yeah! What does Blue want to make? In this episode, surprisingly enough, we're looking for Blue's Clues to find out what Blue wants to make. You'd think an episode about making things would be amazing because of all the endless possibilities. Nope. We start the episode by making paper hats.
Newspaper hats.
Whoa! Well, blow me away with a feather. Paper hats! Even by mail time, we're still making stupid paper hats. Really? You have an episode about creating anything, and all you can make is paper hats? I mean, how hard can it really be to do? See? Anyone can make a paper hat. And the episode only gets better. Not only is the episode a bore, but there's a truckload of editing mistakes. Interestingly, none of the episodes prior to this one had any post-production editing mistakes, but this one is just chock-a-block full of them. In the beginning, when Steve is following the green yarn, the bottom of the screen is just gone. Later in the episode, we skidoo into the bakery and Steve's legs are cut off.
It smells like bananas.
We do learn how to make banana bread though, and that's kind of interesting. Overall, this episode felt like an unfinished, bug-filled mess. We are gonna play Boo's Clues cause that's a really great game, yeah!
Have a happy birthday, you. We'll have a great day too.
This episode just makes me smile every time I see it. We get this super catchy birthday song that Steve made for Blue, and it plays throughout the whole episode, and it's really nice. As much as I like the usual Blue's Clues tunes, the change is refreshing. It keeps it cheery and interesting as we do a high-stakes, good old hunt for Blue's Clues.
You know, I think I need my green crayon for this green clue.
The entire episode is really colourful and very creative to look at, completely covered in birthday decorations. Light blues, dark blues, cupcakes, streamers, it's really nice. What's your favourite colour, Boo? Green. I think mine's orange. It actually kind of takes me back to my childhood birthday party days. It's just so colourful and pleasant and exciting. We even get to help Steve pick out a present for Blue at the gift store. It's an encapsulation of that excitement of a childhood birthday party, and I appreciate the time they put into it. We are gonna play Boo's Clues cause that's a really great game, yeah! Magenta gets glasses. There's something good to be taken from every Blue's Clues episode. And in this case, I like the fact that they normalize getting glasses by getting Magenta to get glasses. As normal as getting glasses is, it's unfortunately seen as quite sad for some people.
How do you think Magenta is feeling? Do you know?
Sad.
So Steve points out all the great benefits of Magenta getting glasses. All the stuff she'll be able to see and do better. But unfortunately, the rest of the episode accurately emulates that mind-bending boredom you get when you're waiting in the optometrist room. We're seriously sitting in this eye doctor's office for what feels like eons. We also meet Miranda, who unfortunately really struggled to pretend in Blue's world and just did not fit.
We just figured out Blue's Clues.
We just figured out.
She just looks at Steve like he's a total weirdo. Which he is, but he's the most awesome weirdo ever. Maybe she was given bad direction, but she personally just felt to me uncomfortable and scared in most of the scenes. Again, while I like that they normalize the optometrist, scenes like the eye test just go on and on.
Yep, the apple is most definitely on the picnic table.
How about the balloons?
We are gonna play Blue's Clues, cause that's a really great game. Yeah! Blue's big holiday.
Happy holidays! Come on in, out of the cold. Make yourself at home.
This time the Blue's Clues house is decorated with all sorts of holiday festivity stuff. At first, the episode just screams Christmas, but they never outwardly state what they're celebrating. What I like is this leaves it for the viewer to interpret. Maybe they're celebrating a whole new holiday they made up themselves.
We noticed you have a tree in the middle of your living room. What are you celebrating?
The duo then skidoos into a painting where they meet a bunch of misfit toys that don't feel like they belong anywhere.
You too, huh? Why are you sad?
'Cause I'm different.
Different in a good way, I bet. How is this tower of blocks different?
But Steve beautifully points out what makes them different is part of what also makes them interesting.
I think your dress is wonderfully different. Unique, in fact.
There's a strong sense of wisdom and diversity to this episode. Each one of Blue's friends is celebrating a different holiday, and Steve and Blue bring gifts to each one of them. One celebrates Christmas, the other Hanukkah, and one of them celebrates Kwanzaa. It always amazes me when kids shows can teach far more wisdom and acceptance of others than national religious groups that are supposed to guide people in every aspect of life. The whole episode pushes the message of diversity and tolerance of others, regardless of who they are or what their beliefs are. Giving kids the universal message that differences are awesome and it's part of what makes the world an interesting place. We are gonna play Blue's Clues cause that's a really great game. Yeah! Blue's sad day. This episode is sad, figuratively and literally.
Okay, Paw Print, it's time to leave, but it was very nice to...
As Steve pans left, all the stuffed animals, felt friends and Blue, all look absolutely miserable.
Yeah, I mean, she's kinda sad looking and she's making sad noises. Do you want to play Blue's Clues?
There's nothing wrong with expressing being miserable, but can we have some context? They start by skidooing into Blue's school, where they help some of their friends' mishaps by helping them talk about their feelings. Again, every Blue's Clues episode has something good, and this one's no exception.
How do you think the purple kangaroo is feeling now?
Sad. Mad.
Sad. And mad.
I feel really sad.
This is a really important message, and I'm always glad to see kids learning that they should talk about their emotions and feelings. However, they soon discover that Blue is upset because a green puppy has been demolishing her tower.
Blue is now building another block tower.
This devious little puppy shows up with a flower and gives Blue a false sense of security.
Happy.
Yeah, happier. Flowers are nice.
Blue knows a moment of happiness, but that moment is quickly crushed as the green puppy begins demolishing her blocks again. Blue tries to talk about her feelings and rebuild her tower, but the horrible green puppy just obliterates her tower again. In the criminal justice system, we would call this mutt a danger to himself and society at large. Throwing this mutt in the clinker may be the only option to stop him from demolishing any more blocks. Finally, when Blue gives up some of his blocks to the other green puppy, they settle their differences. What differences? The green puppy was just being a mutt. It seems more like we're giving in to terrorist demands.
Happy!
He's no longer a menace to blocks everywhere. But for how long? This episode infuriates me because we're just watching a bully be catered to. No matter how much Blue tells the green puppy how she feels, the green puppy just keeps demolishing the blocks. I'm assuming a he there. Is that sexist of me, Boo? Right, yes. Yes, it is. But what type of message is that to kids? Destroy public property until you get your way? That's a horrible message. For having arguably the worst message in the show, I personally consider this the absolute worst Blue's Clues episode. And just a quick honorable mention. What experiment does Blue want to try? Steve and Blue take a crazy science journey.
See the black dots and... Ooh, let's see if we can see her very tiny legs.
We learn a ton of things in this one, like what animals and objects might look like up close. There's just a lot of science introduced in this one, and it really intrigued me. And weirdly enough, the kids sound really invested in this episode.
It's a clue.
Wait a minute. You see a clue?
Yes.
When Steve is walking away from the Blues Clues, the kids are really struggling to get him to notice. Hell, eventually the two skidoo into outer space and meet the freaking sun, where we get an interstellar musical lesson. This episode felt like we were getting a cross between Blues Clues, Beakman's World, and Bill Nye. Anyway, you ready, boo? Right, on to number 1. And I think the number 1 best Blues Clues episode is Blue Gets Frustrated.
Just go.
This is the kind of episode that transcends just being a kid's show, giving us a message that isn't often even taught in adult shows. Steve and Blue teach kids mindfulness.
I stopped, took a deep breath, and now I can think.
This was one of the episodes I saw as a teenager during a pretty angry, dark time in my life. And Steve taught me to stop, take a deep breath, and clear my mind, and it made a big difference and helped me. I'd say most of us, on a daily basis, run into issues that make us frustrated. Maybe when someone's rude to us or we're cut off in traffic. And when these moments happen, Steve teaches here to recognize our anger, stop, acknowledge the emotion, and take a breath. Then, once we're calm, we can think again. Almost every second thing nowadays sets off people's fight or flight reflexes. And since we can't run from the saber-toothed tiger anymore, we have to just sit on that stress. But this teaches us to recognize it. That is awesome. We can't always see the right answer when our heads are clouded by anger, misery, frustration, or grief. But when we manage to find that calm, we can do things with more clarity and a better understanding of the right thing to do. The fact that Blues Clues could simplify this message down to teach it effectively to kids is personally the most memorable and important lesson the show ever taught me. And as Blue and Steve teach this, they make it a cheery romp at the same time too. Hell, I now have peanut butter, celery, and raisins as a snack. It's nice. It's a pleasant traditional Blues Clues episode with one of the best messages we could teach kids. I can comfortably call Blue Gets Frustrated the number 1 best Blues Clues episode. Well, thanks for checking out these episodes with me. And thank you, Boo. Well, of course you did something. You're my friend and your moral support. As long as you're here, my day feels a little bit better. Much like Blues Clues has done for me. And I thank Steve, Blue, and everyone behind this show for helping entertain kids, and me for that matter. Even if I don't rewatch this young kids show much nowadays, I feel better for knowing Blues Clues is a thing. And I hope Nickelodeon can capture that magic of the original in the remake. Steve himself picked out the actor, not me. And since I didn't make it in, I'll be here, doing what I love. And I hope you can join me again sometime. And there's a ton of great Blues Clues episodes, so if you have any personal favorites, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Knox Blues Box... Personal favorites, feel free to leave... We just figured out Blues Clues, cause we're really smart.